Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 268. 50 Signs of Financial Freedom.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
50 Signs of Financial Freedom. Barclays have recently done a survey. They only questioned 2,000 adults. It's not a lot, but I actually think the results of the survey are very interesting. And you might find that they're accurate for you or to people that you talk to if you ever get the chance to talk about financial freedom with anybody. Money and financial freedom is one of those topics. I suppose it's a bit of a taboo within families, friends. A lot of people think it's vulgar to talk about money. So a lot of people don't get in their interpersonal relationships to get much experience or much feedback from people. And that's why I think surveys like this are actually really interesting. Because how are you supposed to strive for financial freedom if you don't really know what it looks like? And as I said, it is a study of only 2,000 people, but I still think we can get a lot of it. And I still think that, it's fairly relevant. The first thing is that more than half of the adults, 53% surveyed, didn't think that they will ever be financially free. Now that's fairly sad. I thought that was hard hitting and fairly sad. So 53% of adults on the survey thought that they would never ever be financially free. So that's why I suppose we better clarify what financially free is, and we will be hitting 50 signs of being financially free, and it means many different things. Now those adults that had been surveyed were all different age groups. It just says adults, so it doesn't show the age group. So obviously people of a certain age, if they might felt that they're a little bit too old to ever be financially free, that they've taken their chances and they've done whatever they had to do, and maybe now it's the thought of saving or investing has passed them by. You never know, but I still thought 53% is a lot of people to feel that they don't have control over their finances and they can never be financially free. A spokesman for Barclays, which commissioned the research, obviously they wanted to know about what products they could sell to people based on the survey results. But anyway, we can still use the information from the results. So reaching a point where you no longer need to worry about money may seem like nothing but a pipe dream, but that there are steps you can take to help get there. Obviously, the earlier in life you can begin saving money, the sooner you'll reach financial freedom. Now, I don't strictly believe in that because I do think that the earlier you start, absolutely, definitely helps, but it's not just about saving money. It will be about investing money as well. You can't really save you can't, unless you're a massive high earner, you're not going to be able to save your way to financial freedom. So you are going to have to save and then invest. But even for those who've realised a bit later in life that they were going to have to take control of their finances, reaching that balance is possible. So that's a little bit positive. So there's no matter what age bracket you're in, you don't need to be given up yet. The study also found that the average adult who does think they might get to financial freedom at some point reckons they are still nearly 12 years away from doing so. So there's another lesson there. Becoming financially free isn't quick. There you go. The average person said that they were 12 years away from becoming financially free. And even longer, I would imagine, in a lot of cases. They could have been people who have already been working on financial freedom for a decade or two. So keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated at the length of time that it can take. Other key signs of financial freedom include being able to treat themselves without worry, not needing to work full time, and having the cash to make home improvements without needing to save up. All are nice, yeah, brilliant. For just under 1 in 10, however, they'd like nothing more than being able to buy their team's new football shirt as soon as it comes out. Sometimes it's the simple pleasures in life. I like that one because it's very realistic for a lot of people. You can imagine being in that kind of a position. So it's not just, massive financial goals. That's a nice one. 1 in 4 adults worry they aren't saving enough every month to reach their financial targets, while 12% don't know how to manage their cash most effectively. I'd say that's fairly accurate. And on average, the people surveyed reckon they needed to earn just under 60,000, so this is in pounds sterling, a year to avoid worrying about money. Now this is the next lesson. So on average, the people surveyed reckon they needed to earn just under 60,000 sterling a year to avoid worrying about money. 60,000 a year sterling is certainly nice, but I think that bar is actually set fairly low. When you take in the cost of living, you take in inflation, and you take in taxes, I think that people who get to that stage of earning 60,000 plus a year could actually be very disappointed if that's where they set their sights, because I think you can still struggle. Oh yeah, granted, there's a lot of people earning a hell of a lot less and struggling a hell of a lot more, but I cannot see that 60,000 a year is the figure that's going to have you, me, or any of us not worry about money in the future. I think that's a very low figure for that, and a very unambitious figure for those who manage to set that as their target, achieve it, and then face immense disappointment when they realise that they haven't avoided worrying about that money with that kind of a yearly earning. 2/3 also feel that for them, financial freedom isn't about reaching all their financial targets. They can still feel that way by simply feeling in control of their cash day to day. Yeah, I think that's well said. It's not about, earning massive amounts of money, investing in massive amounts of money. It's about having an element of control. Feeling in control can take away a lot of the money, regardless of, what the mediocre earnings that you have. You can control it with spending. You don't have to be a high net worth individual. It helps. Certainly strive for it, but you can manage, better with what you already have, as well as trying to increase it going forward into the future. So to do this, 21% have made a conscious effort to understand where their money goes each month. So yeah, that's kind of obvious. The same amount try not to compare their financial situation to anyone else's. I think that's great advice, because that's, jealousy and comparisons, it's a very unhealthy habit, especially if it's not driving you to succeed, especially if you feel that it's just absolutely beating you down and making you feel worse about yourself. 19% find having clear financial goals to aim for is helpful. I'm surprised it's only 19%. It should be higher than that. Having clear financial goals is extremely helpful to aim for. The Barclays spokesperson added, financial freedom doesn't have to mean having enough money in the bank to buy whatever you want. You can feel financially free and still have certain goals to achieve, such as paying off your mortgage or even things like car payments. I'm sure that leads in nicely to whatever package they were trying to sell at the time. But however, moving on. Really what we found in this survey is that financial freedom is very much a state of mind. Something tangible for one person may not work for another. That's very true. Okay, now they've compiled a list from the survey of the top 50 signs of financial freedom. Some of these are interesting. Some have just been, it's the same point repeated. And some I can't relate to, maybe you won't be able to relate to, and some you will be able to relate to. But let's get through this 50. So let's kind of get through these with a little bit of haste. Number 1, having no debt. Well, sure, that would be lovely to have absolutely no debt in your life. Number 2, your mortgage is paid off. That would be excellent as well. I'm sure that's a big one for a lot of people, for the majority of people, I would imagine. Number 3, being confident that I can cover any unexpected costs. Yes, you need to have an emergency fund if something should happen, and you need to have access to liquid, to cash, basically cash on hand. So that was number 3. Number 4, feeling in control of my finances. Yep, you don't have to have massive earnings to be able to feel in control of your finances. Number 5, saving money each month. It feels great just to be able to save money each month, even if it's not large sums of money. Number 6, having disposable income available at the end of the month. Yeah, that's absolutely a very important one. Not having to borrow while you're waiting to receive your next paycheck. You want to have more paycheck at the end of your month and not more month at the end of your paycheck. Number 7, paying off all bills in full each month. That's a great habit to get into, especially if you are fond of using your Visa cards. Number 8, having rainy day savings set aside. That's kind of like, the emergency fund, but not as much an emergency. Number 9, not worrying about when payday is. You'll always be very conscious of when payday is if you're a salary earner. There's no way around that, but not having to worry about it would be great. Number 10, paying for things without needing to check bank balance first. You probably do it for small items. You might buy a packet of chewing gum and not even bother looking at the cost of it, just hand over the money. But it would be nicer to do it for larger items, not to have to worry. Not to be reckless, but not to have to need to check. And number 11, being able to enjoy the lifestyle I want without worrying about money. Well, sure, that's pretty much everybody's goal. Number 12, being able to treat myself to things without worry. Number 13, not being able to check not being afraid to check your bank balance. We kind of already said that one. Number 14, not counting down the days until payday. Again, that's kind of a repeat. Number 15, being able to treat myself without worrying about my bank balance. Again, that's another reiteration of an earlier one. Number 16, can go on a spontaneous holiday without having to save up in advance. Wow, when's the last time you were able to go on a holiday without having to have a savings plan in place? And that's a pretty good one to aspire to be able to achieve. Number 17, being able to make home improvements without needing to save up or without needing to borrow. The borrowing for home improvements is a very common one. Number 18, being able to stop working full time. Well, that's a fairly massive one. Imagine being so financially free that you're able to stop working full time. Number 19, owning a property as opposed to renting. Well, that's debatable. Number 20, feeling more confident about my future financial position. Yes, just a reworded one. Number 21, car is bought outright, so there's no outstanding debt on your car. That's a pretty good one, and that can feel great having a car that doesn't have any debts outstanding on it. Number 22, not feeling like I need to check my bank balance regularly. So obviously they just jotted everything down that the 2,000 people said, and they made this list of 50 because that's about the third time that's been reiterated. Right, number 23, not having to check the price of things when shopping. Yep, number 24, on track to retire early. So not having to wait for the official governmental retirement age. That would be a nice one. Number 25, having enough money to live my dream life. Now that's a big one to aspire to achieve. What is your dream life? But having enough money to live it. Wow. Number 26, being able to treat my family and friends. That's a nice one. 27, being able to choose anything on the menu when dining out and not worry about the bill. Yes. Number 28, feeling like I can provide my family with a better life. Oh, that's a very strong emotional one. Yeah, that's absolutely fabulous. Number 29, not having to compromise on gifts at Christmas or birthdays. Yeah, absolutely. Number 30, having more than one holiday abroad a year. If that's your aim, then yeah, that would be brilliant. Number 31, being able to buy around without worrying about money or what people choose. Yes, yeah, when pubs are fully back open, of course. Number 32, going out to restaurants regularly, so eating out regularly. 33, and again, just a reminder, I'm up to 33. This is the 50 signs of financial freedom as discovered in the survey of 2,000 people. That was it was conducted by one poll on behalf of Barclays Bank. Number 33, not having to wait for sales in order to buy desirable items, so not having to wait for sale. Number 34, being able to stay in 4- or 5-star hotel as a matter of routine, so not having to slum it or hostel it. Number 35, spontaneously splashing out in something which you don't really need, e.g. a fancy air cooler or a posh floor mop. I don't know about those examples, but yeah, absolutely, yeah. Spontaneously splashing out in something which you don't really need. That's nice now and again. Even if you don't do it, to be in the position where you could do it if you had to do it or if you wanted to do it. Number 36, fully filling your car with fuel rather than just a few pounds worth. Yeah, that's a thing. Absolutely. For a good period of time, my fuel was covered by my job, so it's not one I ever thought about too much, because when you're not actually putting your hand in your own pocket to pay for fuel, you don't actually think that you don't think anything of filling it up each time to save yourself stops at the fuel station. But it's actually amazing how many people aren't in that position and they cannot fully fill their car. So that one hit home when I thought about that one. Number 37, owning more than one property. Number 38, being able to fly business class or above as a matter of routine. And it's being able to, it doesn't mean that you have to actually do it, but it's being in a financial position that if you wanted to do it, you could do it, but you may still choose not to. That's your prerogative. Number 39, being able to take the kids or grandkids for lots of days out. I mean, that's a lovely one. Number 40, doing the food shop at a high-end supermarket. Number 41, when you can treat your parents to a meal out. Number 42, regularly visiting the hairdressing salon or the barber. Number 43, having a cleaner. Number 44, being able to buy the latest television. Number 45, having no student loan or certainly paying it back quickly. Number 46, buying name brand products rather than own brand items. It is a sign of financial freedom, all right. Number 47, never looking at my wardrobe and thinking I have nothing to wear. Number 48, being able to buy designer clothes regularly. Number 49, having multiple TV subscription packages, and there's plenty of those around at the moment. And number 50, a complete anticlimax, a sign of the number 50 sign to having financial freedom is having an ensuite bathroom. But sure, it's on the list, so I read it out. More importantly, that's the list of 50. The whole objective with me even reading out that list is to give you some ideas and to give you some goals to aim for, or to give you some goals to reject. That's cool. That's a part of the process. And more importantly, I would love to hear, what are your signs of financial freedom? What do you listen to, or what gives it away that you think certain friends or family members or yourself, what's an indicator of financial freedom to you? What is one that you have an interest in aspiring for in the future, and ones that you don't have any interest? What ones have you achieved already? I would absolutely love to hear your input. So message me anytime and make sure you contact me through the successsensei.com. All the ways to contact me are there. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.